Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to the Friday at 4 podcast series. How are you, buddy?
Doing well, Chuck. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, doing okay. It's been a crazy, wild, stressful, busy week, but here we
Okay.
are, another Friday at 4, and
hmm
we got another exciting topic today for our listeners. Anybody that's listening, I think
Yeah.
this is going to hit home for everybody, not just you and I. I think we're all going through this struggle, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Either going through it or have gone through it. Yeah.
Have going through it, or will go through
Or
it.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're at that stage in America right now, or even the global economy, not just the American economy. And that's the topic today is
hmm
the economy. I'm glad I pitched this to you this morning because I know, it's hitting hard for me right now. And I know I'm not alone, but I want to speak for myself, because the struggle is real, and I would like to talk about what are some things that we can do to help ourselves in the time of need, the time of crunch right now when the economy is really bad, where gas is over almost $5 a gallon. To go out and get a burger is $25, and a case of water is $5 now. And I mean, we're really looking at some struggling times. And I think this is a great time for us to take a step back from the other topics we talk about and talk about how do we help everybody else with this tough economy.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you're struggling now. Um, to a smaller extent, I am, but I also struggled like you are years ago. People who have followed the podcast know, and I've said this many times. I left corporate, had a business that I opened at the beginning of 2013. And within 2 years, the business failed from a financial perspective. It was a great service, great product, great everything, but financially it failed badly. And as a result of that, I did go bankrupt, credit card debt, and all those things that they say don't do, don't do. Well, I did. Um, so I know exactly what you're going through now to a smaller extent. I know what a lot of people out there are going through. So the purpose of today is to try to give you some of the experiences that Chuck and I have gone through and potential things to consider to reducing your expenses.
Yeah.
Now, income obviously is not going up as fast as expenses are. We get this, and that's a problem. So if your income can't go up any faster, how do you bring your expenses down? That's really the point of this.
One thing I want to touch on real quick, I'm glad you mentioned it and started it that way because what I'm finding is happening, and like I said, again, I'm not alone. I'm speaking for everybody that's listening and watching and understands the economy. When you look at, I'm going to give you an example. McDonald's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their drink was $1.49 for the longest time, right? Any soft drink, $1.49. And I'm thankful for that, grateful for that. I've taken advantage of that for many of years. But how does it go from $1.49 to $1.98 in just a matter of weeks? You know, that's a what, 50, almost a 60%, over 60 cents leap from what it was,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
that's been my problem is these companies will raise prices and then raise them again within months.
Mm-hmm.
And the Americans are hurting to begin with when you're already raising it the first time, when your paycheck isn't going up anymore, and then you raise it again for a second time. That's what's blowing my mind right now is that's why I'm struggling is I'm watching the things that I very cautiously spend my money on
Mm-hmm.
double and triple in price over weeks and months. And how do I keep up with that, right? How do you get around that struggle? And you can't say just don't buy stuff, don't eat, don't drink. We all have to survive, you know? And it just amazes me how these companies in America, I'm sure around the world, get away with raising prices whenever they feel like they can. What is going on with this, right?
They
That's what's bothering me.
they can because the public lets them get away with it.
Not a,
They
yeah,
do.
yeah.
So there's a couple of scenarios. One is, and this is just an example.
Mhm.
You take a bag of pretzels that used to be $2. The same bag, like I said, goes to two and a quarter. A month
Yeah.
later, it's 250. Next month, it's 275.
Mhm.
They claim that it's inflation. Well, first of all, they claim inflation is only a 2 to 3%, which we know is a total crock. Okay, we know
That's a lie.
total lie.
Right. Whole lie.
But then what some companies are doing because they don't want to raise the price is they'll take a 10-ounce bag of pretzels and make it 8 ounces for the same price.
Yeah.
So you're not raising the price, you just need more of it. So in effect, yes, you're raising the price. So they're not, they're playing a mind game which isn't working.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I showed my kids, I took a picture of my hand holding a Pringle. And my
mm,
daughter went, "Wow, Dad, that's amazing." It fit into the tiniest palm of my hand, and it used to fit the top of my fingers as well.
yeah.
And you look inside the can, they're just like little teeny chips down inside the can, you
Mhm.
know? It's amazing how they're giving
Yeah.
us less but charging more.
Yeah. There's, and I don't remember the name of the chain. It's a fast food chain. I don't remember the name of it. And I'm not going to say it on the air anyway, but I remember going in and the burger, was a burger. On the commercials that they show, the burger, based on the camera angle, it looks
Right.
big, but when the
Mhm.
person actually bends down and picks it up, it's it's this.
Mhm.
I'm saying holding it, it's like this as opposed to being this.
Yeah.
And they're proud of the fact that it's only like 3.99. Well, it's half the
Only
price
six
of
dollars
what
and fifty
you
nine cents.
charged. So
Right.
what do you expect? So they're playing the mind game thinking the majority of people won't notice.
I think we're stupid. Yeah.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
The only way to really, well, there's a couple of ways, but one of the ways is don't buy anything that you really don't need.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Confession time. I love, and you're going to think I'm crazy, and I am, but okay. But I love Oreo cookies. And when I was a kid, I would take Oreo cookies and dunk them in milk, and I was in heaven. I love that stuff. I went out to the store the other day, and yes, stores are different prices, but I went out to the store I usually go into, and a package of Oreo cookies was like $8.
Wow.
And I absolutely refused to buy it. I refused. And I love that stuff. I would not buy it.
Yeah.
I found a cheaper something if I even needed to have a cookie, which is another discussion, but my waistline really doesn't need the cookie. Okay. But
Are
even
you
if
in therapy for cookies?
I need a therapist, right, for cookies. But,
Right.
buy an off name brand, buy something that and again, that goes back to you have to have it or you need it or a nice to have. That's really the two. You really, really
Yeah.
need it, or is it a nice to have? And if it's
Yeah.
just a nice to have and you're running short on money, those nice to haves have to go away. They
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. The problem I have is I'm on the road a lot. So
Mhm.
yes, taking a lot of food with me is not an option.
Right.
Yes, I make sandwiches. Yes, I have bread and lunch
Mhm.
meat and peanut butter and jelly, but it doesn't last all day. I have to buy. And with my show, right? My show is involving food. I have to buy
Mhm.
food for the show.
Right.
This
Right.
last episode cost me an arm, a leg, a foot, a hand,
Hmm.
and a kidney. It really did. It was tough, and it only involved two burgers, you know.
Oof.
I was amazed. And if anybody wants to watch the show, if they watch it or when you watch it, I give the price, I show you what you
Mm.
get, and I actually show you as you with your hands, you can see how big those, or actually I say how small those burgers
Mm.
are, right? And it's amazing how, like you said, the portion size has went way down, but
Yep.
the cost is
Yep.
going way up, you
Correct.
know?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Part of
And
that
and
is
and you're right.
inflation.
Yeah, and you're right. So I've cut out a lot of stuff. I don't eat snacks. no more.
Hmm.
All I eat is when I need to eat on the road when I'm out and my stomach says, all right, you got to eat or you're going to pass out and crash the car. I got to eat. So I don't have a
Yeah,
choice.
right.
So McDonald's used to be my choice. They were very fair on price. They were good.
Mm,
I completely quit McDonald's because I can't afford to eat that. That's how bad it's
right.
gotten.
Yeah.
It's gotten so expensive that I deleted the app and I don't go there anymore, except they are the only ones that are cheapest on the soda. They're still the cheapest.
Okay.
Amazing, right? But they are the cheapest for the
Yeah.
soda, you know? Well, everywhere else, man, I got to go elsewhere,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really
Mhm.
sad. I think one of the best things about putting out that stuff is I have been down 2 belt sizes in my waist now from cutting out all
Mm.
that fast food in the morning and
Okay.
afternoon,
Good. Good.
and yeah, it's working. So yeah, that's the good side to
Mm.
this crazy economy. I'm losing weight from it, but you know,
Yeah.
it's tough, you
It
know.
is. It is. So part of
Yeah,
it's inflation and part
yeah,
of it's the tariffs. So because of the tariffs, companies are passing on all those increases because they have to keep their profits. And I get profit. Without profit, you're not in business. But there
yeah.
also comes a point of profit versus greed.
Greed. Yeah, and we talked about that. I think a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about corporate greed, and it's sad,
Yeah.
right? Because I think that's where we're at now. Is again with my um, observation of when I'm out about doing my day and doing my show.
Mm.
You see these multiple, shifts in raising prices. To me,
Mm.
that's greed.
Yeah.
You've already raised your prices once. Why are you
Yeah.
doing it again all of a sudden? Like McDonald's went from 149 to
Uh-huh.
189, then it went to 198. Now you're paying 202 in Maryland. You're paying $2.02
Yeah.
for the same large cup you got just 2 weeks ago at $1.49. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
it
Wow.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
And the way gas prices fluctuate, that really
Mm.
aggravates me. You
Yeah.
know, that's one of my biggest things that I need. And
Mm.
it's really putting a crunch on me.
Mm. Yeah. Unfortunately, you have no choice. You got to do
I don't
that.
have a choice, right? Yeah. Can't sit home with
Wow.
the show. It ain't gonna work
Yeah.
from my
Yeah.
house.
No, it's not.
I gotta travel.
Gee, eesh. But yeah, so I mean, I came up with a list of things here just to bounce them off. Some of them may sound like, yeah, okay, I know it. Um, and there's a couple on here that I know I'm going to get some hate messages from this. Okay, I know it, but
It
it's
said it's coming.
something that you have to consider. And I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm saying consider it based on your situation.
Sure.
So, in no order, just the way I wrote them down. We talked about food. So when you go into food, and I've been doing this with my kids for quite a while. My kids are adults, and we've been doing this for quite a while. Once a week, we get the circular that's dropped on the front step. So we go through it. What's on sale? We'll look for sales. We'll look for 2-for-1s. We know just because something says it's on sale does not mean it really is.
Correct.
So you need to know your prices.
Right.
And if you buy similar things week after week, if something is truly 10 off, 20 off, 30 off, you know it. What we try to do, there's a certain type of vegetable that we buy. It doesn't go on sale that often, but when it does, it's steeply discounted. And we buy a ton of it and throw it in the freezer. And this way, even though it's a lump sum up front, when you consider it's 50% off, 60% off, and you can eat because it's frozen, you can stretch it out like a month, 2 months. It saves a lot of money over the time.
Over time, yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
food. Do you really need the steak? Can you have hamburger once in a while? Do you really need the high end something? Can you get one level down? I'm not saying stop eating because we all have to eat, but it's what you're eating, where you're eating. Do you need to go out for dinner and spend $100 on a steak? Can you go somewhere else and get, $30 for a hamburger?
Yeah.
$70, you do that a couple of times a month, it adds up pretty quick.
Yes, it does.
So your food is a basic staple. Another thing that we've done differently. And again, a lot of what I'm saying here is what I went through.
Mhm.
And in some instances, I'm still doing it today. Clothes. Okay. I used to sit there and say, okay, this is May. So what I'm going to wear for the summer for May, at some point in the past, I used to say, okay, it's great. It's done. May's finished. Out, toss it, donate it, toss it, whatever you do. And then next May, I'll buy new stuff. But now those same clothes are now lasting 2 years or 3 years, for the warm weather, 2 years, 3 years, as long as they're not, holy and, ripping, rip to shreds, wear them multiple times. Is it not the name fashion brand? I don't care.
I don't
I
care either,
don't
right?
care.
Nope.
So I may spend a little more on a pair of jeans, but if those jeans last me 3, 4 years, it's okay because I average it out. You're way ahead of the game. So that's what I do for clothes. It's jeans, it's shirts, it's winter jackets. I've had the same winter jacket now for like 4 years, 5 years.
I'm gonna say like 15 years of mine.
But it's warm.
They
It's in
work.
good shape. I make
Yeah.
sure I clean it at the end of every season so it's okay, for the following winter. And but that's what I do.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing which I don't do, but I know a lot of people that do, Starbucks. Again, I'm not saying to stop. I'm saying slow down.
Yeah.
So
That's
if
a
you're
big one.
going 3 times a day, can you go twice? If you're going twice a day, can you go once?
Yeah.
If you think about it, a Starbucks, $5, $6, $7 a pop. If you stopped even one trip a day, even at $6, that's almost $200 a month just on one Starbucks a day.
Yep.
Now, I don't have Starbucks. I don't have the addiction, whatever, and I get it, all the caffeine in there, and okay. But little changes add up. So think about Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, all those things that you do. Do you really need to do as much every day?
Yeah.
There was something else I was going to say and I forgot. Okay. Um, and again, people are going to hate me for this one. Cigarettes. I remember and again, I've never smoked cigarettes, but I remember way back when you could buy a pack for $2, $3,
$2,
$4.
$3. Absolutely. I
Now,
remember. Yeah.
what's it, 10, 12, $14 for a pack of
13 to
cigarettes?
$15 for a pack of cigarettes. Yeah.
So instead of smoking 2 packs a day, can you slowly cut back to 1 pack a day?
Yeah.
And then maybe slowly cut back to half a pack a day.
I hear that's a
Again,
tough habit to break too.
it is. But
Yeah.
what if you said, and again, I don't smoke, so again, this is just me talking here. But let's
Right.
say, well, how many cigarettes in a pack? 20?
Yeah. 20.
Okay. So let's say you smoke 2 packs a day. You're smoking 40 cigarettes. And if you're doing that, you're in trouble. But okay, let's say we're off 2 packs a day.
There's a lot of people that are doing it.
So what if you said instead of 40 cigarettes a day, what if you cut that down to 39 for 3 days? Then cut it to 38 for 3 days, 37 for 3 days. So over the course of a couple of months, you're training your body and your mind to need less. Don't go cold turkey. Don't, because that never works. Do
Yeah.
a
It's a tough
little
one.
bit at a time. So even if it's 3 months down the road, you've
Yeah.
gone from 2 packs to one. That's $14 a day times 30 days. That's $420 a month. So between one Starbucks and 1 pack of cigarettes, you're already down, you're saving, I should say, like $600 a month.
A
That's
lot.
a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah, it
So
is.
think about basic little steps. Again, people are gonna hate me for this one. But what about alcohol?
Right.
Do you
Well,
need
Steve,
that?
during these difficult times, I need a drink to really get myself through it.
You have a choice. Do you have a
I have a
choice?
choice.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm not saying you have to do any of these things or all of these things. Pick
Yeah.
and choose your battles. I'm just giving people suggestions of what could be done. And when you think bigger picture, again, one Starbucks a day is 180 a month. One pack of cigarettes could be $400 a month. When you look at little things and then put them together, um,
Yeah.
again, we get back to the alcohol. What if you're drinking 2 packs of beer a day? Can
You
you
know what I hear though?
slowly?
You know what I
uh,
hear? If you go to the bar, I think a drink now at a bar is like $20 for one drink in a bar. Is that
That's
correct?
insane. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. I
Again,
remember
your
going out to the
choice.
bars when I was younger. They were $2.50 for a
Yeah,
beer.
yeah,
That's how long it's been since I've been out drinking, doing
yeah,
that kind of
me
stuff,
too.
Yeah.
But again, and again, I'm not saying stop,
Yeah.
but instead of having 3 drinks when you go out, have two.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing that I know I did, I had my car because I'm of the mindset that no matter what car you have, the best car you can ever have is one that has no car payments.
Yeah.
That's the way I think. So
Yeah.
my last car, I had it 14 years. I love the car. And after 5 years, it's paid off. And I had 9 years of no payments. And it was great. Now it got to the point that it was starting to break down and I was putting more money into it than the car is worth. So I got rid of it. But I had that car 14 years. Again, that was my story. Um, I know people who have high-end cars that are paying 1,000 a month, 1,500 a month for the car.
Yeah.
Again, my side of the story is it's great. I'm happy for you. Do you really need it? What if you went from $1,000 a month car payment to $600 for whatever kind of car it is? What if you went to a $600 car?
And I know
Again,
when Buddy Ken watches this episode, he's going to have something to say about that because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's a car payment under $700 anymore. It's how bad it's gotten.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane. It's insane.
I leased when my car went out. I leased for the first time ever. I leased a car in December of 24. So it's almost a year and a half that I've had it. And my car payment is $399 a month.
Wow. Amazing.
But I had to negotiate big
Yeah.
time. And when I negotiated, because the dealer, so here's the key. I walked into that dealership and it became all about you need a car, you need a car, you need a car. And I took my time and I was just talking, just general talking to the salesperson. And he let it slip that their sales were down and they were
Mhm.
desperate.
Mhm.
And my mindset shifted like that. I got the payment down to $399 with zero money down
There you go.
on a 3-year lease.
There you go.
So walk into a dealership, you're in control. They need your money. They
Yeah.
need to sell that car for a quota they have. They get bonuses if they sell a certain number of cars. So they want your business, even if they break even on the car, which they're not, but even if they break even, the bonuses they get for selling a certain number of cars more than compensate for them making supposedly no money on a car.
Yeah.
They need your business. Be smart. Be the one in the proverbial driver's seat. You are it. You are the one who has the money. Make them earn your business.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to car insurance, I know a couple of people who are property and casualty agents, property in auto and homeowners, and everyone says the rates are going through the roof, and they are. But the point of this statement is shop around.
Yeah.
Don't accept the first offer that comes your way.
Right.
Shop around. Again, it's
Yeah.
your money.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that one. Um, then we have talked a number of times about credit cards.
Yeah.
And because a lot of us are in the position of, again, income is too low, expenses are too high. For me to eat, I have to charge. Okay, I get it. But what credit card companies have created, and it's 100% legal, you charge, and I'm just going to put a number out, you charge $1,000. They're going to say to you, $20 minimum payment. And a lot of people are in a position, I have to pay the $20. But here's right.
And
And
raised.
that was me for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
But here's what I learned. If you don't pay enough to at least cover the interest on that $1,000 you charged, the balance gets added to the 1,000. So that means if you charge 1,000 based on your interest rate, if you charge 1,000 and the interest is 25, but they're asking you for 20, that extra five gets added on to the 1,000, now becomes 1,005. And the reason they're doing that is they don't want the $1,000 back that you charged. They want the interest every month as long as you live, because that's when you're going to pay it off when you die. That's
Exactly.
what they want. They don't want the 1,000 back.
Yep.
So here's a way, and this is not complicated, but if you're out there and listening to this, get a pen and a piece of paper or your phone or whatever, however you want to write this down. I'm going to give you a real simple, easy formula to calculate how much interest is on your balance to make sure that you at least pay the interest so you're not continuing to pay more and more or owe more and more. So take the rate that you have. Let's say it's a 20% card, and that is the average rate is 20%. So let's take 20% divided by 365. How many days in a year? So it's 20 divided by 365 times the number of months, I'm sorry, the number of days in the month. So in this example, 20%, so it's 0.20 divided by 365 times 31 days in the month of May. Take that number times, in this example, the $1,000 that you charged. That number, whatever it is, that number is the interest for the month of May. So they're asking you for 20. Is that number you just calculated less than 20 or more than 20? If it's less than 20, then some of that 20, even if it's $1, some of that 20 goes against 1,000 and reduces it. But if the interest is more than 20, it gets added on to the 1,000. So again, it's not, I'll repeat it again. It's the interest rate divided by 365 times the number of days in that month times your outstanding balance. And again, my number's on the screen. Reach out. I'll walk you through it again. Chuck and I, we want to help you. There's no charge for this. We just want to help you. So reach out
There you
and
go. Stealing my thunder again. I was going to make sure I covered that at the end of this podcast. So thanks, Steve.
yeah. No, but I just wanted to say that because
But
I
you're
know it's a
good,
little
man. Yeah.
complicated. So I wanted to say it now. We'll say it
Yeah.
again
It was a
later,
little complicated. Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but we're here to help you. So
Absolutely.
again, it's the key of if you pay what they're asking, chances are it's not covering the interest only. Therefore, you pay more or owe more and more every month. You'll never pay it off, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
The last thing that people are going to scream at this one. There's no doubt people are going to scream at me for this one, but I will tell you, I did this, and it was not a lot of fun, but I did it out of survival. When my business failed in 2000, well, it failed in 15, but in 2013, 5 months in of having virtually zero income, but having all the high expenses from the business, I could no longer live in the apartment I was renting. My son and I were there, and I paid the bill, and that was fine. But I could not live there anymore. I couldn't pay the rent.
Yeah.
And I made a phone call. And the phone call I made was to my mother. And at this point, I was 56 years old. And I made a call and I
Age.
said, me and my son, can we move back home? And she said yes, because if she would have said no, my plan B was my car.
Yeah.
And that is a true story.
Yeah.
So it's not fun. It's not what you want to do. But before you get to that point, can you, instead of living alone, can you share an apartment with somebody or two somebodies? Make it three of you.
Yeah.
Can you split the rent? Can you split the utilities? Um, I live with my kids, and every month we split the rent three ways, we split the utilities three ways, we split the internet three ways. Um, this way, it's not hard on any one of us, and we can still put a little bit of money away for an emergency. But if we each had to live on our own, there's no way. None of us. There's no way.
Where I'm at.
So, yeah. So really think about it. And again, I'm not telling you to run home because depending on, dynamics with your parents and the kid.
There
Um,
is no home for me. This is it. I got
the
nowhere
other
to go.
thing, yeah, the thing that I was thinking about before, there's a website out there, and I could be wrong, but I think it's called Rocket Money. I think that's what it's called. It's a free app on your phone, and it goes in and you put in some very basic information, and it tells you all the subscriptions that you have signed up for that you probably don't remember, but you're paying for them every month.
It's good. Well, Steve, what a great episode, man.
It was.
I'm glad we got to talk about this. What a blast. I know it's stressful for everybody right now. It's stressful for me. I know it's a little stressful for you and your family.
Mhm.
I think these are really good examples of how you can save either a little bit of money or a lot
Right.
of money, depending
Right.
upon what your habits are, you know?
hmm Yeah. But you got to do something different. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in the same rut.
That is true. And that's the point I want to make here is that we all have to make changes. You can't, if you continue to do the same thing, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity.
Correct.
So we know the economy sucks. We know it's not going to get any better anytime soon.
Right.
We have to deal with it, fight through it. And
hmm
the choices we make it's going to determine how we get through it, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Steve, thanks again for coming on and speaking.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. It's been a great
No, you as
episode.
well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And another good episode of Friday 4 because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
we're like somewhere.
All
Again, Steve,
right.
appreciate you, man. Thanks. I think it was a great topic. I
Was.
hope our listeners gain something from it and reach out to you, 516
Yeah.
727 2294. Reach out if you want to help with that little equation, learn that, what's the whole
Mhm.
interest rate thing on your credit cards. I'm
Yeah.
interested in that. So I'll reach
Yeah.
out to you and we'll discuss what I got going on
Yeah.
and
Huh?
maybe you can help other people with that,
Appreciate it.
right?
Appreciate it. Thanks. And if you
Yeah.
need Chuck's help with something, it's 410-935-6132.
Look at that, all professional. Didn't stare at the screen this time. Hey,
Impressive, huh?
impressive. Steve, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great
You too.
weekend, and we will catch up soon, buddy.
You got it. Thanks, Chuck. Take care,
See you,
everyone.
man. Take care,
Bye-bye.
everybody. See ya.
Bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.